Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Boxing. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always, my man in the Edmonton Oilers Monday Night Raw t-shirt, Mr. Chance Michaels. And right below us, all the way from Sweden, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to boxing fan extraordinaire, and good friend of our show, Håkan Johansson. Håkan, how are you, brother?
I'm all good, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
joining
for
us.
having me on.
Oh no, thank you for joining us. We know it's about what, almost 8 o'clock in the 8 p.m. in the evening there for you guys. So, the
Yes,
day's coming to an end. Thank you for spending your evening with us, man. I know you've already gone through a full work day. We're only here midday. We haven't even got to midday yet, but you've already put in a full day's work, probably had your dinner, and now you're sitting with us. So thank you for that, sir.
thank you too.
Fantastic. Chance, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, doing good. I'm glad we have Håkan from Håkan Ringside Live on X and YouTube. Go check him out. He's got a lot of good content on there. He's got a lot of the fights.
And Hakan is that guy who goes everywhere that we wish we could in a lot of cases. Since we last talked to you, you've been in Florida for the MVP card, and most recently you were down in Texas for the last MVP card. I guess my
Yes,
first question for you is, how was that experience from the first one to the second one?
it was pretty similar, but the Orlando card, I stayed at Caribbean Royale. Everyone stayed at the same resort. So it was really nice. You bumped into people in boxing all the time. But when I was out in South Padre Island, Texas, it was a little bit different. I stayed at the not at the same hotel at the Fighters, but I really enjoyed my visit in Texas. That wasn't just boxing. I enjoyed a lot of nice and sunny weather
Right.
and South Padre Island Beach. But both shows was interesting to attend. But what I will say, Orlando, I met more people in boxing than I did in South Padre Island. But so Orlando was nice, but the Caribbean Royale is a bit far away from downtown Orlando. So you don't. It's about 30 minutes with an Uber to downtown Orlando from the Caribbean Royale. But
Oh
you
wow.
have the Disney resorts pretty close if you want to go to Disney. But I like the Caribbean Royale as a resort very much, and
Okay, cool,
also
cool.
yeah.
Håkan, I got a question. I got a question for you. I'm wondering. I kind of know the answer, but I want you to tell everybody why MVP cards over Queensberry, Matchroom, Golden Boy. Why do you keep going to those cards? Tell everybody the reason behind that.
That's uh, a few reasons why I have done it now. One of the reasons is that those MVP shows are pretty cheap to get ringside. And I would maybe try a Pro Box card next year. I like the Pro Box events too. They are cheap tickets for ringside and a lot of good 50-50 fights on the Pro Box card. But if you, for example, the Golden Boy show in Fort Worth the last week, the ticket was on a different level for
Hmm.
ringside.
How
Hmm.
much is
That's
a
the reason.
ringside ticket at MVP roughly?
It was $150 for ringside.
That dude, I paid more than that for upper decks at the Manny Pacquiao fights. That's a really good value.
Yeah, when I was in Orlando, they had a multi shows Friday and Saturday, and
Yeah.
you could pay for both shows on one ticket. So I paid $225 for front row ringside for 2 shows.
That's really good value. You can't beat that for a good. They're good quality shows too.
Yeah, what I like with MVP is that they are so open, not so much security. You could walk around ringside and meet people in boxing. And in the UK, it's more strict.
Did you meet Jake Paul yet?
No, but I have. I was very close to Jake Paul in Orlando.
Oh, nice, cool.
So,
but
go ahead.
But I have met the matchmaker and head of MVP, both in Orlando and South Powder Island, Mike Leonardi, who's more or less running the MVP. So it was nice to meet him and chat with him, both in Orlando and in Texas.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So the tickets are cheaper. Everything is cheaper, but the amount that you spend to get there, is it justified?
Yes.
Okay.
I love the passion with the response.
Yeah. I paid about the same for the flights to Florida and to Texas.
Oh, that's interesting. Texas is much further away.
Yeah. And I had 3 flights to get to South Powder Island.
Yeah, dude, you basically, I remember that night you started, like, you let us know that you were boarding the flight from Stockholm to London, and that was at like 11 o'clock p.m. our time here on the West Coast, and you literally made it the next day at about 10:30 in the evening to Texas.
Yes, I arrived at the hotel just after midnight.
Yeah, dude, it was that's a long.
You know what, Håkan? If you're going to go anywhere in the States, Texas and Florida are probably the 2 best places to go with the weather. They're just great places to be. So you're picking good spots. You got to come to Vegas.
Yeah, especially Texas with the weather. When it's cold here in Sweden, where I live, to get really hot weather even in October, November time felt very nice for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'd have to go to Spain, right? If you're staying within Europe?
I've been to Spain a few times.
No, but if you want to get that kind of heat during your winter, you'd probably go to Spain or go to like Western Africa.
Yes.
Morocco and down there. All right. So what stood out for you on this card here? I mean, it was an interesting card in Texas. So what was that one match that stood out to you? What was the one match that you were looking forward to the most? And did it deliver?
I did. It wasn't any standout fight beforehand. That first round KO from Sebastian Juarez.
Yeah,
that round is one of the most. Sebastian Juarez was down twice in the first round and came up and knocked out. It was a couple of points deducted too for Sebastian, and he came back and knocked him out just before the first round was finished. So it was. I haven't seen any round like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So now I will say that when I look back to the card, it's that fight that I saw Sebastian and met him after the fight, and his father, who's a promoter to Rudy Juarez.
Oh, that's cool.
And the female main event was very good too, between the Mexican girls, Juarez and Nere Plata. It was a very good all-action fight, very close fight. So I really enjoyed that fight too. So
they're doing good matchmaking on these
that I enjoyed, and I also met Sharetta Metcalf, Chicken Metcalf from Dallas.
I wanted to talk to you about that. So she's a friend of our show as well. We've had her on here, to talk, and she's an amazing lady. In hindsight, do you think she won that fight, or do you think otherwise? Because I mean, even though we are unbiased, right?
Yeah.
We like you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We have to call it the way we have to call it. My opinion, I don't think she won the fight, but she won. You know what I mean? Like it
What do you think, Håkan?
I think she got lucky.
Yes, I agree. And I was at the show.
So from your perspective, watching it
with a friend to me who's ring announcer, Christian Schmidt. He had an off week so he was there at the fan as me, and he knows Sharetta Metcalf too. Both him and me thought that Crystal Rosado won it 5-3. So we were very surprised to the decision, even though both Christian and me was hoping for Sharetta Metcalf, we was very surprised of the judges' scores.
We love Sharetta, but she lost the fight.
So you met her after the fact. Did she show signs, like, you talked to her afterwards as well, I believe, and whatnot? Yeah. Did she show signs of like, I got lucky on this one, or was she just living her best life?
No. She felt didn't felt good about the last fight when she lost to Shanika Johnson.
Yeah, see, that one I could have gone the other way. You know what I mean? I think maybe she got ripped off on that one.
Yes, so she called this the revenge tour after the first after the fight against Shanika Johnson.
Awesome.
So she didn't said anything that she was lucky to win the fight.
Right.
And then I also talked with her coach and Christine Lopez's son after the fight.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
So I was very happy for them that she got the win.
Okay. No, the same here. We're happy for her too. It's just unfortunately under the circumstances.
So, Håkan, one more question for you before we go on to the Eubank Benn preview. When are you going to come to the fight capital of the world, to come to Vegas and see a show in Vegas? We'll meet you down there.
It depends. I need my next holiday period, and it starts from April. And I plan a show in May, June. May, June time, I'm going to the States next. But I haven't decided which show I'm going to. So I see them. What shows is announced May, June, maybe July time in the US. But I know that flights, price for flights in the summer could be pretty expensive.
Actually, the cheapest time to go to Vegas is summertime. The reason why, it's so flipping hot there, that the cheapest time for Vegas is summer. It's 40 degrees Celsius, 42 degrees Celsius there. So that's why it's cheaper to go in that.
Hotels could be cheap, but the flights is very expensive in July time.
From Sweden, maybe, not from here.
Yeah.
So if you were to go from Sweden to, say, Gatwick, you probably get a cheap flight from Gatwick to Vegas. Maybe not from Heathrow, but from Gatwick. Even Manchester, you probably get a cheaper flight.
I'm not sure that it's any flight from Manchester to Vegas direct.
Um,
I haven't checked it.
but no, I mean this is a long way out. But yeah, you got to
Just
get to Vegas. We'll come down there. We'll meet you.
one day, Hawkman, you gotta do Vegas because there's nowhere to see a better place to see a boxing fight than Vegas. The lights, the atmosphere, something special about it. So one day you definitely gotta make it happen.
That is on my bucket list.
Yeah.
So, but as I told you, I like to be ringside, and in Vegas, it's impossible.
You wouldn't be Håkan Ringside live. You're sitting upper decks. I'll tell you that.
You wouldn't, but you wouldn't, my friend. But you'd have an experience like none other.
Oh, Vegas is the best. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I will look into it. What shows there are from April in Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen. We don't have the 2026 calendar up yet. I'm sure they're working on it. We're just trying to get through the last couple of months here. Speaking of that, we have a great card coming up this weekend as well out of the UK. We got Chris Eubanks Jr. versus Conor Benn Jr. or Conor Benn part 2. The first match delivered a lot of drama, a lot of storylines, and then the fight happened and the right guy won. Then you get controversy afterwards with the ambulance not being able to leave and all these kind of, pieces that are there. And here we are. This was supposed to happen in September. It's happening now. Guys, what do you think of this? Like we're here at part 2. I'm kind of torn. I'm really torn. I think Eubank should walk away with this, in my opinion. But 36 years old, that weight cut again. If he had that much trouble with it that time, I'm sure Conor is fighting with a calmer temperament this time. I really felt that he came into that fight very emotional. He fought emotional. And, that was indicated in the way that fight played out. He couldn't get in. I mean, Eubank, the bigger man, he looked bigger that night. Just kept him at bay with that jab and whatnot and just worked him over.
I'm just gonna give a quick breakdown for our North American fans because this fight isn't as big in North America as it is in Europe. It's still big, but it's way bigger over there. Obvious reasons, right? So there's a weight and rehydration clause here. A 10-pound rehydration cap remains, favoring the naturally smaller Benn, but draining Eubank, who you said looked depleted last time. Adjustments. Benn vows to use a better jab and less emotion, like you said. Eubank said he's aiming for the stoppage to avoid the judges. Family legacy, Eubank Sr. reportedly wants his son to retire after this match and may not show up. I think he will. Like, it's all drama. They'll walk out there, we'll go crazy, you know what I mean? $10 million for Eubank, $8 million for Benn. The reason that is there's a 60-40 split because last fight Eubank won. That was a clause in the first fight contract. Håkan, what do you think?
I'm going for a repeat in this fight, but I feel it going to be even more close. So I think it was 8-4 from the judges on the first fight, 116, 112. I think it could be closer this time, and one judge could even go for Conor Benn. It could be a split decision for Eubank. I think it's gonna be even more close, but I'm leaning towards Chris Eubank on a very close decision. I think it's going in the full distance, 12th round, no stoppage.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth on this. Is probably one of the harder choices that I've had to make in a long time in terms of a fight. And the reason that is for me is the fact that I think we're going to get a different Conor Benn. I think that emotional fighting style is gone. We're going to get more of a Conor Benn that would normally have fought, with in that circumstance. I think now that he has the blueprint, he knows what the power feels like. I mean, Eubank didn't knock him out. He didn't knock him down. Right. And if he was fighting emotional, I think, having that there as well, knowing how hard Conor, knowing how hard Eubank can hit him and stuff like that, I almost have a feeling that this is going to go decision for Conor this time. This is not over. I think they're going to milk this for one more. I mean, technically speaking, if you look at father and son, The Eubanks are up 3-0.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that. So yeah, to me, it doesn't really matter who wins, right? Because we're in North America. It's not as much for us as it is over there. But what do we love in boxing? We love drama, we love entertainment, and we love trilogies. And I'm not saying this is going to be a corrupt or crooked fight, no. But I just think from what I read out, Ben said he's going to be less emotional. He's going to use his jab more. Not to mention, Eubank will be weight trained again. Favorite advantage, smaller Ben. By saying all that, my gut's telling me that Ben will win by split decision. Should be a great fight. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's a 50-50 fight. But like you said, the Ben's got to get at least one win on these Eubanks. And this is their last chance. So I think Ben gets it, close decision, and we'll see a trilogy.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Ben takes this one by decision. I don't know if it's split decision, but I think it's going to be decision regardless. How much can you change? How much more could Eubank do to prepare for Conor Benn? If any change had to happen, it had to come from Conor, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? I think you're going to get Eubank coming out just doing what he did the last time because it worked. He held the little guy at bay. It's kind of like putting your hand out and the other guy's going like this trying to get to you. You know what I mean? That's what Conor Benn kind of looked like fighting that way.
But Eubank Senior is right. If Eubank Jr. wins, it's time to retire. You're 36. You're not at your prime no more. What better way to go out than by crushing the Benns?
You crush the Benns, you retire maybe, but also maybe just fighting your weight class.
Well, that too, yeah.
Right, he's not that young. Like he's not that old. Sorry, where
36.
He's 30. Yeah, 36 is fine, but he's not super old.
No,
like if he would just go back to his weight class and actually have a couple more fights up there, in my opinion, he should be fine. Retire from this kind of stuff, yes, because it's not helping him. It's not helping him at all.
Well, I think his dad's more saying, "I want you to go out on a high. This is the top of the top. You're never going to have a bigger fight than Ben. Doesn't matter who he fights after this. He's never going to get a big fight like this." So his dad's like, "Go on top." I get that point. We'll see.
And honestly, he never really faced Conor Benn's power in that fight, in my opinion. He didn't because Conor couldn't get anything going per se. I'm
not a big fan of Conor. I don't like all the steroids and all the antics that he does, but I just think he'll edge it out. I'm not a huge fan of the guy, to be honest.
Honestly, right now, if you look at the two, and Håkan, let us know what you think. Who's the villain in this? I think it's Eubank. He's playing that villain role beautifully. The stuff that he did with Eddie Hearns cutting him off during his tribute to Ricky Hatton, that's cold.
Yeah, I could agree on that, but I think also that Bomac is back at the Eubank Jr.'s corner could help him a lot for this fight.
Like I said, at the end of the day, he had him there. He had him there for the Billum Smith one. Wasn't it? Who did he beat him with when he? Oh, who was it? The Smith. He beat one of the Smiths, right?
Liam Smith.
Yeah, Liam Smith. And then Bomac got caught with a gun.
Yes.
At customs, right? And they waved it off as a misunderstanding. So he's back in the country again. Look, I hear what you're saying. I just don't think even with Bomac in his corner, there's not what more can he do with him? I mean, this is a few months separated, 6-7 months separated. It took him 2-3 months just to recover. So he probably didn't get back into training until maybe this summer. If that, I just see more change coming from Conor. But that being said, we probably might just get the same fight. But that's the beauty of predicting, right?
It's going to be fun to watch. I don't really care who wins, to be honest. I'm not really a huge fan of either guy. But when you add some reality into boxing, this is real family drama. The dads don't like each other. The kids don't like each other. And you got to watch these guys fight out for family legacy. It adds that extra oomph to the fight that you don't get a lot of times. So it should be fun.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. And what makes this is really good, it's a domestic fight. Okay, yeah, we're saying it's not an American bout, blah, 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 North American. But domestically, to get 70,000 people in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Oh, it's huge over there. It's huge.
Right? For a domestic fight like this, that's amazing. That's what you want. That's what you want to see in boxing. Okay, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a big show. There have been a few big stadium shows in the UK this year. The Usyk Dubois 2 and the first Eubank Junior Benn fight and this rematch too. So that's great that we
Yeah.
get these big stadium shows in the UK.
Okay, and before we move on to the next one, I want to ask you this question I've never asked you before. Of all the boxing shows that all three of us watch, who are your favorite commentators to listen to?
I will say Adam Smith.
What's your favorite?
Yeah, I have met him a few times too.
Oh, nice.
And talked with him. I talked with him in Doncaster at the GBM show when Terry Harper fought in the main event, and I met him last year in Liverpool. So he's a really nice guy. The way he has come back after cancer, that I like him a lot. Not just as a commentator. I like him as a person too when he talks in interviews and that. So I will say Adam Smith is my favorite.
I think Adam Smith plays a huge role in UK boxing in terms of all the stuff that he did over at Sky back in the early days of Sky. You know,
for 30 years he commentated on Sky Sports.
Yeah, he did. And then whatever happened with them in Sky, I don't know those details, but apparently something happened there. I don't know if it was health related or something, but he just suddenly disappeared.
Yes, and GBM Sports and ECSF brought Adam Smith back.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, Hawkeye, we got one more match here. Chance, take it away, man. We got Richard Torres in Mexico, the man who straight out of Welcome Back, Carter. Mr. Richard Torres fighting for the first time abroad in his native, well, I guess his ancestral Mexico.
Yeah.
What do you got here, man?
We got Richard Torres Jr. versus Thomas Salik. Let me break this down. This is the key matchup dynamics. Power versus experience. Richard Torres is an 85% KO ratio, which dwarfs Salik's. And his southpaw stance could exploit the Czech's orthodox shell. Shalik's height may allow early jabs, but Torres' pressure and angles, she closes the distance quickly. One more thing here. Activity, this is huge in the fight. Torres fights every 3 to 4 months. His last 5 fights, he's went for 31 rounds, while Salik hasn't fought in 2 years. And he just, when he does fight, he fights regional opponents, regional foes. Between round 4 to 6, Torres is going to knock him to the ropes. This is a tune-up fight for Torres. If he wins this fight, he'll start working his way up, top 15, top 20, get in some sort of contender's role. Great prospect, undefeated. I'm looking forward to watching him fight. He has a hell of a mustache. Got to give him that.
Hey, look, Richard Torres, I mean, this is a North American guy, obviously. So we have more access to him per se generally than the European community would. I've been watching Richard for the last 5-6 years now, just as a prospect. And for the longest time, until Top Rank can figure out where they're going to be living, they were putting on the best prospect shows for the longest time. I would have to say.
Thanks for saying. I got to say one more thing on the prospect here. Good fight to look for in the undercard here. Julian Espinoza versus Victor Kijai. That's a good undercard fight that could be explosive. Something just to keep an eye while you're talking about prospects.
Fantastic. Now, Hawkeye, you're pulling out a piece of paper, man. What do you got?
I like it.
I just checked my list for tomorrow.
Oh, the Boxing Prediction League.
What do you got?
So guys and gals, just so you know, we are sitting here with League 1 of our prediction league. We're in 2 leagues. I'm second place in League 2. Chance is doing really good. What are you, 3rd or 4th? 5th?
Something like that, 4th,
right,
I think.
Right. Håkan, you are the leader of Group 1, man.
Yeah, but I can't believe my luck that I'm still the leader after had 2 bad weeks.
I had a horrible week
of the last 3 weeks. I can't believe that I'm still leading.
Håkan, I gained 61 points on you the last couple of weeks. I'm catching up slowly to you, buddy.
Yeah, I checked for 3 weeks ago. It was 99 points, and now it's 38.
Yeah.
So no, I had the worst week.
You're like Wayne Gretzky. You're so far up on the scoring.
Yeah, but if we go back to the Torres fight, I think it's a mismatch that I think that Torres could knock him out in the first round.
Yeah.
It's so, but I feel it maybe go a few rounds, but knockout in round 3 is my prediction.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know.
Thanks for saying something about a mismatch, because I know you brought it up on our chat group. Did you watch I know you did, but we'll talk about the show. That Ottawa Lean versus Chris Thomas heavyweight fight was a complete and utter disgrace. That guy had no business being in the ring with Ottawa Lean. That was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. And I did watch Chris Thomas' last fight in the summer when he lost on KO in 3rd round and was down in both in 1st and 2nd round. And when I saw that fight, I did know that this was a mismatch with Ottawa Lean. I don't understand why they picked him.
I think the reason behind it is we had the promoter on, Larry Goldberg. I think he didn't say anything about the fight, but my take on it is that Ottawa Lean, after fighting Fury and Chisora, he kind of he's kind of sliding down. So they wanted to showcase him, give him an easy knockout, beat up this guy who's not on his level, and kind of bring him up the rankings again. I think that's just a showcase fight to get Ottawa Lean's name out there. So we're all talking about him again now, right?
Yeah, but I think that his opponent was not near any levels at all.
No, that guy's a club fighter at best.
Ottawa Lean get a much better from sparring in Houston than this fight. He hasn't learned anything from this fight.
No,
so I think they should have gone with a top 100 fighter, not the top 400.
Yeah, I know. It was a disgrace. I don't even know if the punch hurt him or he fell back and tripped over his leg. The fight was I don't know what happened. It was bad. I love Ottawa Lean. He's a big, tough guy, but he's way too skilled. Like you said, he gets harder sparring sessions than what Chris Thomas can do. It's just terrible.
Yeah, and Ottawa Lean is from Sweden, and I've been to a lot of shows with Ottawa Lean before he moved to the US.
Good fighter.
I think I've been to 5 shows with Ottawa Lean in Sweden, and I went for the Chisora fight too in Manchester in February this year. But that was a very, very disappointing display from Ottawa Lean in that fight.
Yeah, I wanted to bring something up here. We kind of talked about it on Saturday a little bit, or was it Friday? I can't recall. Robin Safar, another countryman of yours, went up against Derek Miller. Okay.
Yes.
And Safar won. I think Safar is from your neighborhood, right? Was that what you were saying at one point?
Yes.
Right. He basically from your hometown. And I said, yeah, he won, but he didn't win. But most of the guys that kind of responded to me in the group was saying that, no, he looked good, he this and that, but I didn't think he looked good. Now, in a bit of hindsight now you've had a little time to sit back and digest the fight. Do you think Robin looked good in that victory? I don't.
Yeah, he won every round. I can understand that you felt that he did not do so well because you expected him to knock out his opponent.
Well, but, look, when you're fighting a guy who's got no legs after the first round and you're Robin Safar, you're trying to make your name, you're trying, like, boxing is boxing. I get it. If you're going to fight the safe fight, you're going to win. And that's what he did, in my opinion. There were no combinations. He was kind of throwing one punch here. He hit a hard body shot, but there was no follow-up. There was no combinations. He could have ended this a long time ago. This would have set him up for Zurdo, which is what they want at some point here. But this just kind of puts him back, in my opinion. This is the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying that he didn't win every round. Yeah, he did, but he did it without any pizzazz or anything that made it, make me want to go, okay, I want to see him fight this guy next. You know,
if you criticize Robin Safar, you have to criticize Otto Wallin in every fight.
hey,
I
yeah.
haven't seen an Otto Wallin fight that has been better than Robin Safar's performance last Saturday.
But with all due respect to Robin Safar and Otto Wallin, if that's the case, then they need to step up their games, man. In my opinion, nothing
I didn't
against
see
them.
the fight. I was on my kids' hockey, so I can't say I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
So I recommend Chance. I recommend you go checking it out. All I'm saying
I will.
is Robin did great. I'm not saying he didn't do poorly. All I'm saying is I expected more with what was at stake and who was in that arena that night. You had all the big brass there. You had all the main people that are making decisions. All eyes are on you. You got a guy who's basically done after the first round, and you're just playing with your food. I get it. Maybe you're trying to get rounds in, but I just think the lack of combinations and the lack of finish that he showed put him back 2 fights now from the big one. That's all I'm saying. Nothing against him, nothing against the skill, nothing the way he won. You win by how you have to win. But every opportunity was given to him on that card with that opponent and the state of that opponent that he could have done something big. He could have. That's all I'm saying.
Well, fair enough. I didn't see the fight, so I can't comment on it and watch it.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. But other than that, respect to him. But I just wanted to bring that up because I was just curious, man. Like if you saw it a little differently or not.
I haven't seen any criticize of Robin Safar's performance anywhere. So I think it's just you who thought he was better.
Hey, man, that's just an opinion. But
like
Chance, check it out.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I didn't see it.
And I'd love to get your take on it as well. Unfortunately, you didn't see it. All right, boys and girls, that's it. It's time to wrap this puppy up. We got Richard Torres this weekend out of Mexico. We got Eubank and Ben coming up this weekend, part 2, or do we call this part 4 of the Family Feud? I don't know, but I mean, I'm looking forward to it. The undercard there's really good as well. So, guys, we're going to be treated to some good boxing here. Håkan, how do you curl up for a night of boxing this Saturday? What's your plan?
My plan is to it's my time when it's in the UK. So my plan is to watch the full card from 6 or 7 UK time.
That's amazing. So very quickly, what's the spread for Håkan's boxing? What do you do for snacks and food, and how many pints do you put back by the end of the night?
I don't drink so much beer at home.
Oh, okay.
I drink a few beers when I'm at the show or
Sure.
after the shows when I'm abroad.
Okay.
But I don't drink so much at home, but I have some snacks, and maybe I take 1 or 2 beers, but not so much.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. As long as you're enjoying it, you're nice and warm. The weather's getting cold in Sweden. Are you, here's a question I've always wanted to ask you. In Sweden, where you are you able to see Aurora Borealis during the winter months, or are you too far away from it?
I'm too far away from it.
You're too far away from it. Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Håkan, thank you
Hold
so
on,
much.
I got a good boxing history here. We got to rip off here. It's this week in American boxing history. Lennox Lewis defended the unified and lineal heavyweight titles with a commanding 12-round UD over David, one of my favorite fighters, at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino on this week in Las Vegas in the year 2000. Tua was 37-1 coming into the fight, known for his big left hook, and it seemed like he was long overdue for a title shot. Some of the media thought he could be the fighter to dethrone Lennox Lewis, but his style seemed tailor-made for Lewis. Lewis with the win.
There you go.
Years ago, watch that fight on YouTube. Tua was a machine in his day.
Left hook. He was. Håkan, do you look at Lennox Lewis as a Brit or a Canadian?
I'm looking as a Brit.
Okay, fair enough. You know, all his major accomplishments came when he considered himself Canadian.
Yeah, and I know that he represents Canada in the Olympics as an amateur.
Yeah. All right, guys and gals, that's it. We got the Ben picks in. We got the Torres picks in. We've talked about Texas and Orlando and MVP and everything in between. We've had an amazing guest here all the way from Sweden, Mr. Håkan Ringside. You guys, you can find him. Just Google Håkan Ringside and you'll find all his links.
Ringside Live.
Håkan Ringside Live. Just type that into the Google machine. You'll find all the links and everything there. He's on YouTube. He's on X. He's everywhere. This man is a walking encyclopedia of boxing.
Håkan, are you on TikTok also?
Yes.
He's also on TikTok. There you go.
Yeah, I download on every show I'm attending, and from the full fight week, like from the weigh-in and from the fight night, I download or upload the videos on both YouTube and on my TikTok.
And guys and gals, I highly recommend you go checking out those videos because you're getting angles that the TV at home doesn't give you. You're like that knockout, the views and the angles that you got of that knockout were amazing. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. So guys and girls, make sure to go check that out. All right, that all being said, I am Mr. Bobby Sampson, joined as always my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast and follow Håkan Ringside Live, we salute you.
We do salute you. And Håkan, thank you so much again, brother man, for joining us on the show. But before we leave, remember, everybody, the weekend is here. So play safe, be safe, and just remember, drink, drug, do whatever you want. Have a blast, man. We don't mind. We don't care. Just get home safe to your family. Don't cause any problems in society and go home and be happy. That's all we ask. And most importantly, follow your dreams. Do not stop fighting for what you believe in, because the minute you stop fighting, the hyenas will come and try to take everything away from you. And those are the people that don't want you to succeed because they don't have the guts, the glory, or the passion to step up and take what's theirs. Samp, Chance, Håkan live from ringside is out.